Hello there. So it's been a while. I just want to do a video on the state, well, why I don't like the state of modern gaming and stuff. I've been planning to do this video for a while and everything, and the reason why I don't like the state of modern gaming is because the games coming out nowadays aren't that great compared to, say, the early 90s, early 80s part. To be fair, in the era I've grown up in, it was the Sega Mega Drive and Commodore, and I enjoyed games around that time because there was at least some challenge. No, it's the get good aspect of it as well. It's why I enjoy games. Now, also that the amount of storytelling you got to find yourself, even though I am playing Sekiro now and stuff, but I much prefer going back in the day than how it is nowadays. Like, there's no innovation. Of course, not all developers, but mainly AAA developers. And I don't just play AAA games either, but I also play a lot of indies. And I'm just going to name a few. There's Dead Cells, Blasphemous, which I play quite regularly. And I know it's not an indie game, I also play Metro Dread quite a lot. Well, I've been playing Metro games from the early age and stuff. But another thing I don't like about modern gaming is the amount of microtransactions. No, it's the live service. No, all games need to be live service. But also, an issue I've also got is the amount of unfinished games I see nowadays, which can be an annoyance. I saw news from an era when games used to be finished. I know before people say to me, but Alex does bad games back in those days, which there was. I'm not going to lie about that. You got the Superman 64 game, you had the ET game, and many others. But games back then was at least high quality and stuff. Like, I still play games from that era, like when I boot up my old PS2 or PS1 even, if not when I just emulate other games. I find I have much more fun playing older games than modern games nowadays. I can't even be bothered to even get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or something. I was considering getting a PC and stuff, but I've got my laptop, which I also play old games on that. But apart from that, but I do like some modern games that have been out nowadays. Like, mainly games I tend to go to towards From Software games, which, as you can see from my channel, I play a lot of From Software games on here. Or any games that actually have challenge, or even depth to them. But saying that and stuff, I do play other games as well. Like, I enjoy my indies, I enjoy my retro games, but my issue is with modern gaming now, it's the amount of monetization I don't like. Well, in fact, I've never liked it. Always been something I'm against, really. No, besides the live service amount as well, most live service games nowadays close down. If not, developers can't be bothered to commit to them. I have played live service games in the past. The last one I played was the Spacebots by Mercury Steam. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. The only issue was the online and stuff for it. But that's not my, well, not really the issue. But I do appreciate most of the developers' works, what to do with the games. But I think it's more to do with, like, the corporate money and stuff. And corporations not giving developer enough time to finish the game off, which is annoying. No, the amount of modern games I see nowadays that's a lot not creative. There's not really any fun aspect to them. No innovation. No, you got the same games, like, for example, Rockstar. used to be created back in the day with so many different games, not just GTA, but games that aren't a part of GTA. Like, I think they did back in the day, used to do platformers before they started doing open world games. But then it was named as something else. I forgot the name it was. I have got the case, not with me, but it's on there. Anyway, there's documentaries about it. But yeah, that's my issue with modern gaming. I just don't like it. Like most games that come out nowadays are becoming like pretty boring. Like they're doing just the same. When there's all that technology that I think developers could use to make something out. Not that, be innovative. Like in the indie state as well. There's so much more creative there than what you are with AAA nowadays. What else is like besides microtransactions? Oh yeah, the amount of soulless games as well. I've seen so much shovelware like nowadays, but also in the during the PS4, when I used to search a lot of indie games, there's just so many soulless games out there. Like that have the potential to be really good, but developers choose not to. Even with, and I'm going to be honest with you, I used to be a massive fan of Assassin's Creed before getting into the Souls games. I know, and I don't like the way the Assassin's Creed games have even gone. They're not even Assassin's Creed games compared to the original games back then. And I much preferred the older Assassin's Creed games. Not only that, games nowadays aren't made for the hardcore audience. They're made for casuals, or if not the lowest common denominator. They're not made for people who actually want to play games. Which is my issue I have with modern gaming as well. Most games nowadays are turned into movies. Is my biggest issue. Not that being made for people that don't even play games. I liked it when games back in the day wasn't made for, well, back in the day when it was just made for people that actually play games, as with people that made the industry. I don't know, people are going to complain at me about, but that's gatekeeping, Alex. It's gatekeeping. It's not gatekeeping. You can still enjoy games and stuff, but like, not hate people who didn't come in with them. It's the amount of people that I've seen, like, who haven't played games or grown up on them, it can be appalling, like what I've seen online. I don't know, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but it doesn't really bother me much, because it's my opinion online and stuff. But I do think, especially communities like the Souls community and other hardcore communities, start gatekeeping. But not a lot. But we do want to keep our games how they are, not having be changed for other people. Like, if people want to play games and like get into games we enjoy, they got to like learn to get good. I don't believe in like pandering to other people. It's like with and I'm going to go into politics now as well, so something I'd rather stay away from. It's something I hate. But if you're going to implement politics in your game, at least implement it the clever way, like what Kojima did with Metal Gear. You can still have politics as a part of the story, not in your nose all the time. Like with messages, not everybody wants messages in the games, especially the noticeable ones nowadays. Some of us actually like a good story, but not the storytellers who want it told through descriptions, or not through environmental storytelling. Even we want games that's challenging back as well. Which I I would like to see if we got that back. I know some indie games actually do that. So there's not really much I'm going to go on from there. But yeah, I think you'll understand my point and stuff. We are just sick of the messages, just especially the ones about politics, and I'm going to say gender as well. Not something I like to talk about, but not everyone does want it. Some of us actually just want to play a game, something that's enjoyable. Tells today. But saying that, it's like, because I enjoy reading and stuff, I don't mind if there's politics, but as it's got something to do with the actual story, and it has an impact on on certain parts of the game itself. You can do it clever way, but without making it obvious. Like From Software games have it, and their story is told through item descriptions that are that. You've got like different race, and for an example, I'm going to use Abonorics, because they're a race of let's just say unwanted people that are trying to look for a place to be welcomed as they're dying out and stuff. A bit similar to okay, what can I say now? A bit similar to the Targaryens from Game of Thrones. And I know it's a totally different subject. But in Game of Thrones, the Targaryens land on Dragonstone and they go to Westeros with Aegon. That's because even though most of the Targaryen race died out in Valyria. But anyway, that's another subject for now. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. But what I'm saying about the messages is, I've got nothing against it, I just don't think it should be forced in games. Like, I remember a time when game developers actually had balls to put offensive stuff in the games, which, and at that time I did enjoy. I still enjoy it now. It's why I tend to stick to a lot of old games. My issue is developers, not all developers don't have the balls to do that anymore. Because I'm afraid of upsetting people, and it's something I really hate. And I know hate is a strong word and stuff, and it's not something I want to use. But I'm assuming you'll get my point about it. But apart from that, I want to, well, leave that subject for now and talk about the issue I have with modern games, which are all I've spoken about. But besides that, a lot of games I've played nowadays aren't that interesting. I remember at a time when games used to be really interesting. So like you got games like Zone the Enders, and yes, I know it's a AAA game as well from back in the PlayStation 2 era. But that game had an interesting story. Well, just more so the second game did than the first one. No, Metal Gear, which Metal Gear did. But also, also another thing which has been annoying, which and I'm going to say it as well, is remakes. We don't need so many remakes. The trouble is, and in my own opinion, I think people don't keep their old consoles. Is why against so many remakes. And I get people want to revisit games and stuff, but just people should just keep the old consoles. Now, I've still got my old ones, and I'll still play them. Even my old game collection, I've still got my Game Boy Advance games, I'll still play those. Would I ask for remakes? No, I wouldn't. It's not that I don't see the point in remakes. I do think games should get remade, but not a lot of games should be remade. Say from 20 years, like a game from 20 years. So like, I don't want to say Metal Gear. So like, for example, Kingsfield. I think It'd be good for those to get remade, but people can emulate them as well. Well, that's up to from some people want to. Right, you got the you got games like what's it now, Tenchu. Not many people I've seen have asked for a Tenchu remake. Could have already accessible. But yeah, I don't think every game should be remade. As much as people want it, could have been some bad. Well, there've been some games that look really good and everything, and that play amazing on like 360. Even I'm gonna say the Dead Space didn't need a remake. I've got the original one and it still holds up fine. Even on the 360 and the PS3. Would I want it to get remade? Probably not, but that's what's happened. It's a waste of resources as well, I think. What else? Like, besides that, I don't see the point in getting a next-gen console either. Not because I don't have the money to. Just I just don't see the point. I'm happy with the games I've got. I don't see the need to get any other games. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I've got other issues as well with the modern era of games. Like, I find them, and I know people are going to hate me for this, they're too accessible, even for new players that want to get into gaming. At the time when during the 90s, I was hated for that. Lots of people used to bully me just because I've grown up on games and stuff, and now it's suddenly popular, which I don't know, a lot of people can say, Alex, but why do you hate that kind of stuff if it's popular? Let me be honest with you, like most stuff I've enjoyed, but I used to enjoy, I actually pretty much don't like now, due to the reason of how popular it's became. Like, I enjoy my old games more than my new games, and that's not all either. It's the popularity of some games I've enjoyed. I've just ran into the ground as well. Like most games I've enjoyed like back in the day as well. Has been an issue. Not seeing them remade. The games are perfect and stuff. But that's my opinion anyway. Yeah, and also just to go more to gatekeeping as well. I think if developers want to make games for the hardcore audience, just stick to the hardcore audience. Don't pander to people that don't play your games. Because most 99% chance the people that will play games are ones that would rather watch a movie. Pander to developers should commit to the hardcore audience, not to people who don't. That is while we're in this state of why modern gaming is dying as well. Because the people that will play games will give you that and stuff. And a lot of people tell me gatekeeping is a bad thing, which I disagree with. Gatekeeping has its good and bad aspects to it. But if it's to keep a series alive you enjoy and stuff, then more than welcome to gatekeep. It's like books. I don't mind people gatekeeping, but you don't just demand change with it either. I enjoyed the Soul series, but would I gatekeep them? I have done in the past, but am I ashamed? No, I'm not. It's cool defending the stuff you enjoy and stuff. Because other people want to infect the community and change that. And that's my issue. And I think more people in different game communities should have balls to stand up. even in the retro gaming community, which I do see a lot of people in the retro gaming community that fighting at times. It doesn't matter what you play your console on, or certain games. It can be a CRT. I frankly don't care. I emulate games from the era as well. But anyway, talk about that as well. Gatekeeping, I do agree, it is needed, but not needed all the time. If someone's in the community that wants to change it, and you don't want to change, you've got every right to defend it. You're not hurting them at all, to be fair. If they want to leave that community, then they're more than welcome to. But I do think stuff shouldn't be changed in it. Just for other people's sake as well. I don't go into community demanding stuff to be changed. I'll suck it up. If there's like a game I don't understand, then I'll learn the mechanics to it. But is there anything wrong with gatekeeping? I don't think there is. And I know a lot of people disagree with me on it as well, and that's fine. You're more than welcome. We've all got different opinions. But I wouldn't demand change into a community that doesn't need it. If people want to gatekeep, then just let them. It's not ruining someone else's experience. It's like a lot of games I play nowadays, I've played before most people. Like, say, a good example is Metroid, a series which I do deeply love, and everything. Like, a lot of new players came to, but they didn't demand change or anything, or they didn't understand some of the mechanics or the, what's it called? Or sequence breaking. People don't demand change for it. You actually go away and learn the mechanics and stuff. Not everything, not everything needs to be easy. It's why I don't like to say to modern gaming today. And then and I'm going to be controversial in this as well. I don't like the fact that most developers implementing easy mode or options in the game. I'm not against options at all, but not every game needs them. Not every game needs to be toned down just for people that don't play the games. But saying that as well, a lot of games I play, I tend to find harder difficulties. Not only that, it's because there's challenge. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy being rewarded for the challenge. But not every game needs to be not every developer needs to pan themselves to casuals, or to the lowest common denominator. That's my issue I have in modern gaming today. It's one turned off with games that need to make it easy for new players. And we was all new players at one point as well, but guess what? We learned how to play the game. Not all of us want an easy mode. It's like most games I've been looking forward to last year, like a game called Sifu. I was looking forward to that, and then the developers chose to implement easy modes to it, which defeats the purpose of the game and everything. Due to the excuse was, the game's not accessible. It's not accessible to people who watch movies. What? Yeah, I enjoy odd games, but developers need to stop pandering to new players, people that don't have no interest in playing hard games. And the people that they're pandering to is people that tend to play, and I'm not going to hate people for it either, that play Ubisoft games. Often you got games like The Last of Us. I'm not gonna say that because The Last of Us is a good game in its own respect, but I don't think developers should pander to people that don't play the games. It's what I've really brought a game in the world. The last game I brought was Metroid Prime Remastered. Of course, I played it on the GameCube, but also it's a game that you can turn off the hint system on there, which is fun. Because I find hint system in games pretty annoying. I don't know, this may seem like a rant and stuff, but I've been trying to do a video like this for ages. But yeah, not every game needs an easy mode. No, so you're not alienating. Well, you're not alienating the new players. You're alienating the hardcore players. That are committed to playing the game and stuff, and that want the challenge. Developers should stop pandering the games just to people that don't play the games. It's ruined. Well, it's been ruining gaming for me as well. No, everything else as well. Which I'm kind of sick of. Yeah. Oh yeah, and also the amount of soulless multiplayer games I've seen. Yeah, and live service ones as well. Not all games need a stupid battle pass in it either. And I might sound like a ranting, but I'm not. I'm just sick of like the way the industry has gone. Like back in the 90s, I loved gaming, and in the early 2000s, but I think it was towards that time, the 2000 was when the state of game was going down. It's like for me, I enjoyed gaming back then, but some games just wasn't interesting. It's not that either. A lot of games were too easy as well, like going into the 360 era, which I did like, but I was sick of playing the easy game. Like when I discovered like Demon Souls and Dark Souls, I absolutely loved it. No, it brought my love for gaming back for me as well. And a lot of people complained at me back in those days. Oh, but Alex, you only play like Demon Souls or Dark Souls. The reason why I played that game because it brought back things I loved during the 90s era. And before then as well. It's only back then was, well, during the 360 PS3 era, I was losing interest. So even back then I was playing indie games, which I enjoyed. A good example of one I was playing was Child of Light, which was like a Metroidvania. Like a Metroidvania kind of game. But it's also turn-based as well by Ubisoft. I think that was, and also there's games like Super Meat Boy, which I enjoyed. All because I love the challenge. I like to be challenged if I'm playing a game. No, the lore as well. I like games that ought to be interesting. Like, not all games nowadays, especially in modern era, need to be soulless and uninteresting. And also, there's just so many open world games out there that really would be good if it was linear, and the amount of good ideas that I've seen developers throw away. And just an example, like Shadow Isaac in Dead Space 3 was going to be used, but EA said no. Back then, when I was reading, I think it was a Game Informer magazine about Shadow Isaac, about just going to use a concept, and they got rid of it. I think developers should have the freedom to use their ideas. I've seen so many games nowadays, even the Star Wars, the cancelled Star Wars game, which I was looking forward to back in the day, before it got shut down, because EA didn't want a linear single player game. Also, I want to say, so Naughty Dog have gone down. Like, they don't even care about making platformers anymore. Like Jack and Daxter, which I'd love to see if we got on the PS4 or even PS5 even. But if we do see that, I wouldn't want a game to be soulless or movie-like. I know some people are going to say, Alex, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was like a movie as well. But it was, you're right there. But the thing is, the people didn't like, a lot of people from what I know, like Synthetic Man didn't like it. And yes, I've never played the game, but I do want to at a time. But I'm not going to buy PS5 so for that. Not since I've seen so many medical games around. And just the amount of pandering and stuff. But I enjoyed the older games. That's it really. You can follow me on Twitter or my Discord. I will put the link in below as well. And yeah, that's all I've got to say, to be fair. And if I've offended anyone, I quite frankly don't care. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Yeah, links will be in the description down below. And thanks for coming by. Bye.